Ooh, there we go. Good. First, I had to put the glasses on. They make me look studious in the morning. Okay, so first, good morning, everybody. Happy AM. Welcome to Ante Meridiem with Roxxy, the mini morning podcast where we discuss motivation and just how you get your day started. Let me show y'all this real quick. I got this mixer cup, right? I saw it on some commercial and they were like, yeah, blend. Or I might have saw it on like an Instagram ad or something. And it was like, yeah, it mixes right in the cup. Da da da. I will say it's super lightweight. This is not an ad. I'm just really telling y'all. It's lightweight. I do rock with it. But like I didn't know how weak the blade was. So it's not like a blade. It's like a little plastic thing. So you can't put like fruit or ice in here. I almost broke this. I just got this and I almost broke this because I did not know that you were not supposed to put like heavy stuff in here. This is legit just for like protein and a liquid. Like you're not really supposed to put it. They did not mix my banana up. I here. A lesson learned. Read the instructions. I definitely did not. So yeah, but it's cool. I got me a protein shake going this morning with some oat milk and a banana. And I got this cookies and cream protein. And it's pretty fire. Pretty fire. I'm going to BlurredCon the weekend of the 15th, right? Yeah, the weekend of July 15th through the 18th, I believe. So I'm trying to cut this last little bit before con week. Okay, as y'all know, I've been like bulking a little bit of bulk. So now I am kind of sort of doing a little cut, a mini cut, not a super hard cut, because it's still gonna take me like a couple months to get my body in. I'm saying shonen anime protagonist form. So I'm gonna say probably like 4 or 5 more months till I get closer to that goal. But yeah, I'm getting there. I'm happy with the progress that I've been making. So I'm excited about that. We got a question. Did you put spinach in the shake? I did not. It couldn't handle the spinach. I don't think it could handle the spinach. It barely tapped on the banana. So I seriously doubt that it was going to do anything to that spinach. So yeah, and a shout out to BlurredCon. If you're planning on going to BlurredCon, let me know. Hit me up. I will be doing a panel. I'll be doing a performance. And I also maybe having some merch for purchase. Speaking of merch, this is just real quick because, I don't get to talk to y'all that often. If you have purchased any merch, you have not received any merch from me, make sure to email store@roxyhaze.com. And if you just want to buy some merch, go to roxyhaze.com. I have a whole lot of stuff on there. And I will be having some new merch soon. Okay. I'm trying to do shakes in the morning, but they're perfect. You know what's crazy? I've never been a big breakfast food fan, like pancakes and I will say I've never been a big American breakfast foods fan. That sounds like I'm just being so elitist, but I'm not. Like our breakfast foods are super duper carb heavy, and like I like even as a kid, I'm like, yo, this is too much. This is too much for the morning. You know what I mean? Like I can't. It's too much sugar. my heart. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just so much. It's super bread. It's a lot of bread. We love a carb in the morning, and my little body can't take it. I can't. It'd be too much sugar and syrup. And then the other thing is, like, I legit have ADHD, and so all of that in the morning, I just be like, yo, what we doing? What we doing? What we doing? And nobody wants that when they first get up as an interaction with me. So yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, the banana definitely should not have taken it out. Like, I don't know if y'all can hear it. The banana is still lumping around, lumping around in there. GQ, I already got your stuff situated. I actually need to email you back, so I will be doing that today. So yeah, let's go ahead and figure out what what questions you guys have. So I like to start it with this. Let me let y'all know what I'm working on, and maybe it will help you to figure out what y'all want me to help y'all with. So as always, I'm doing stand-up. I actually just did a show. I had kind of chilled on stand-up for a little bit, but I'm getting back into it. Like, if anywhere, LA is the perfect place to get back in the groove of stand-up, because there's so many opportunities to do stand-up out here, which is great compared to Houston, which we only really have one comedy club. There's opportunities to do it, but not like it is in LA and like New York. Like, there's so many places to do stand-up at. Not all of them are paid. I will say that I miss that about Houston. Like, most of the Houston shows I do, I get paid. So it's a lot of unpaid out here. But as far as like getting better at your craft is dope. But as far as getting paid for your craft, not seeing much of that. So there's that. I'm also working on a mixtape. I'm working on it's called I Like You. I can't wait. In fact, I will. My phone's not over here. I was going to show you guys the cover art, but I'll actually probably post it in my Instagram story. So yeah, then I'm gonna post it and then take it down. No, I'm gonna post it on my Patreon. I have a Patreon. I'll post it on my Patreon. My Patreon is patreon.com/Roxxy Haze. You can subscribe monthly for as low as $1. And if you get I have 2 tiers because it's a lot of work. But the second tier, you get a monthly item sent to you. That is the $20 tier. You can get a free t-shirt. It could be a hoodie. It could be some other stuff. And you get that on the 1st or the 15th, depending on when I get my life together. So that's that. I also am, still doing sketches. I'm getting back to doing sketches. I'm also bringing back one of my YouTube shows that I was doing. It's called Around the World with Roxxy Haze. And I started filming it right before the pandemic. So I only had 1 episode in the can, and I haven't edited. I never released it. But I'm going to be working on that this month. That one was cool. I got to interview NASA astronauts. Like they just graduated, so newly graduated NASA astronauts, and I got to ask them some questions, so that was cool. Working on an animated series. I'm working on multiple animated series actually right now. One which may come to fruition, which will be dope. And then I am working on. I have a show on All Def Cannabis, which is called Wine, Weed, and Whatever. I am co-hosting with Brandon Brody, Herman Rice, and Chinadu Ogu, and it is being edited by the homie Miss Game Queen, and that is going to be on All Def Cannabis. I'm not sure when, within the next few weeks, so be on the lookout for that. And what else? I'm looking at my wall right here. Oh, and my book of poetry. I was gonna release it in September, but I think I'm gonna release it in February because I want some more artwork in the book. And then I am still working on a manga for Fair Square Comics, which is the comic book company I was working with when I released when my story was included in the anthology book Noir is the New Black, which featured nothing but Black artists and Black writers. So that was a dope opportunity. So I'm happy that I'm getting to work with them again. Okay, now with that being said, if you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I'm not an expert at anything. I never claim to be. These are just things that I try to do, and I can try to help with. Yeah, thanks. I try to do as much as I can. My little nephew loved your We Party joint. We played for him this weekend. Thank you so much. And for those of you that don't know what they're talking about, that is from our first mixtape, which is a Roxxy Versus mixtape. That's available on SoundCloud and everywhere. So check that out. But we recently released the music video, and it featured one of my friends, Dre Austin. And if you're familiar with All Def, it also featured Chris Sosa. So that was a really fun video that was filmed and edited by AJ Kelly Productions. So check them out. They also are the ones that did my Inuyasha video, which I might repost today. I might repost that later today. Because it was dope. It was just a dope cosplay. So yeah. How did your relationship with Fair Square start? Did you send them your own roommates comics, or did they reach out to you? What roommate? So that started with me. I'm in a comedians group. And so, like, first, let me start off by saying network with anything. Try to network as much as possible. A lot of people think that networking is this super daunting task, and honestly, it's not. Saying hi to people. It's saying hi to people and letting people know what you do and seeing what they do, and really being helpful in situations where you could be helpful in. A lot of things that I've gotten is definitely based on merit, because as y'all see, I work really hard. But I don't have to submit for a lot of things. And the only reason is because I have made myself become this entity. And like, whenever I do work, like, I show up, you know what I mean? Like, whenever it's requested of me to do something, I do stuff. The old room. Okay, I know what you're talking about now. I was like, I don't have no roommate, but now I know what you're talking about, those sketches. I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, like, so when people request stuff of you when you're working with people, like, work to the best of your abilities, because you never know who's connected. You never know who is doing what, where, you know what I mean? Like, so just try to be a good person, try to be a diligent person, and try to be somebody that's reliable, that people can depend on to do work. And that'll open a lot of doors for you. So it was actually another comedian that connected me with Fair Square Comics. And I had never written a comic book before. I was actually really nervous because, like, I didn't know what I was doing. The guy that's in charge of Fair Square Comics, Fabrice, is super dope. Fabrice is the guy that created Spider-Man Noir. So the black and white Spider-Man, he was actually featured in Into Spider-Verse. That character was created by the guy who owns Fair Square Comics, and him and his right hand dude. I don't want to say his position wrong, TC. He is like dope, and they were really helpful. They basically helped my hand through the writing process, through the creative process. For those that have not seen the comic book, that I actually started the story. So the story ended up becoming about Josephine Baker. And if you're not familiar with Josephine Baker, you need to look up Josephine Baker. She is an icon. She has done so much. So that's how it grew. But I wanted to write a story about a spy that comes to kill her ex-spy lover, who is now working in a bakery. And she came to kill him to get revenge because he betrayed her during the war. So, like, that was the original story I wrote with, and Fabrice was like, hey, you could do better than that. And it's just always interesting when you meet people. Like, I had just met him, and he was like, I know you have something more in depth than that. Like, it was a super surface level story. And I'm gonna, like, somebody had wrote this about me before, like, I'm a shonen protagonist. I definitely take that to heart. So when I get challenged, I always try to meet the challenge. So and I'm happy I did, because the story I ended up coming up with was just so much better. It was so much richer. It was so much more, I don't know how to say better anyway, but it was just better. And I feel like I said something, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I said something. I brought the light once again on Josephine Baker, who is an icon, who I feel like does not get enough respect. So I was proud of the story that I told. So I'm happy I did it like that. So the skits, those sketches, the sketches that I did, where it was me playing myself and a roommate, which was funny because for a long time people didn't know that I was playing both of those characters, and I was just like, it's clearly me. Sometimes I would change the lighting so our skin tone would look different. I did kind of change my voice a little bit, but I'll just take it as a testament to my acting. So those comics were actually done with, there's a dude on Instagram, check him out. His name is Who Man Studios. And he just hit me up one day, was like, yo, I love your stuff. Let's do a comic. And that's how it started. And we actually, I need to hit him up. Thank you for reminding me, because I wanted to do some more comics with him. I haven't been doing the sketches as much, but I wanted to do some more work with him. So y'all check out Who Man Studios. And also check out Noirs the New Black with Fair Square Comics. So since we're on the subject of networking, once again, if you're trying to do anything in any field, network. I am very much I don't need help. I will do it by myself. You don't help me. You know what I mean? I'm that person. Like, I'll do it. I'd rather just do it and get it done. But if you can find a good circle of people to work with, you get so much more done. You know what I mean? Because everybody, it's like the Avengers. Like, everybody in the Avengers is great by themselves. Everybody is strong by themselves. Everybody can defend the planet, you know what I'm saying, by themselves, or at least defend a subsect, or at least a villain. But because Black Widow cannot defend the entire world by herself. I refuse to believe that. But also, I went to that preview. It was good. But I digress. So alone, each Avenger is strong. They're talented. But when they come together, yo, it's crazy. It's crazy what they do. So think about that when you are doing things. Like, yeah, you may be strong. Oh, yeah, Hawkeye also, before I get into that, Hawkeye and Black Widow cannot defend the world by themselves. I don't care. I've seen some stuff. I know they're both great and they're amazing. But, like, if I'm in a room and I'm getting I'm trying not to curse on this one, but if I'm getting beat up and I can only reach for one Avenger, I'm not reaching for Black Widow. I'm not reaching for Hawkeye. Hulk, come here. Okay? Or Doctor Strange, come here. Like, I want somebody with some powers. I want some mystic powers to defend me. But once again, I digress. When you network and when you find people that you can work with and you work well with them, and it's just this beautiful symbiotic thing, you get so much more accomplished. Not only that, other people push you. You know what I mean? Like I said, like, I write a lot. I write all the time, but it's not until I'm writing with other people or other people are now reading my story. Even like, I write for The Gamer. So check out thegamer.com. The Gamer is like one of the leading news sources for gaming. It's The Gamer. It's The Gamer, Game Rat, Screen Rat, comic book resource. That's under like one umbrella. So if you're familiar with any of those, that I work with them as well. Also, y'all know I produce for All Def Gaming and All Def Canvas. So, but for a while, it was just me writing on my own, me creating my stuff, me making my own sketch shows, me doing my own stand-up shows because people weren't booking me. So it was me doing my stuff, bringing people in, but we weren't working as a collective. We weren't working for one common goal. It was like, hey, this is my thing. I'll bring you in. That's your thing. You can bring me in, but like, I don't work with you. You know what I mean? Like, we are not a team for a common goal. I am just working by myself. And so I've been working with more people. And it is it's cool. It's cool. You, like I said, you get more stuff done and you learn more, but you don't get to do that if you're not networking. And what I have learned through the pandemic and the quarantine is like, networking does not have to be in person. Networking does not have to be in person. Networking can be online. Networking can be going to groups like Facebook groups. There is more than likely hundreds of groups for whatever craft you do. For whatever you're looking to do, there's groups that you can find. And within those groups, it's a lot of weirdos. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that you don't want to talk to, but there's at least one or two that you do. So just kind of sift through, figure out who you want to work with, figure out who works well. Even reach out to people sometimes. You know what I mean? Reach out to people. Like, if you see somebody doing something reach out. And here's the thing about networking. You can't get mad if people don't want to work with you. Like that's a lesson that I think everybody needs to learn. If somebody does not want to work with you, you cannot get mad and you can't take it personal, especially if they've done more than you, because you have to think like, what value are you bringing? You know what I mean? Like, so you want to make sure when you're looking for people to network, I don't want to say levels, but it's levels. Like, I can't right now where I'm at, I'm not going to try to hit up Kevin Hart, because what value am I bringing to Kevin Hart that he doesn't have on his own? Like, yeah, I'm funny. He has funny people around him. Yeah, I can write. He has writers already, like writers that have way more credentials and credits than me. And that's not to discredit myself, but I would rather reach out to, like where I'm at right now, I will reach out to maybe some social media comedians, maybe comedians that do sketches, they get a lot of views, because I'm a little bit closer to that. Like, even if you have 100K followers, I work with a lot of companies that person may not work with. So then I'm bringing value to them because you have the followers, but I have the connections. You see what I'm saying? So like, I maybe only have 23,000 and you have 300,000, but not to brag, I've worked with Mattel. You know what I mean? Like, I work with All Def. I work with The Gamer. I work with Hot Topic. I work with big companies. You know what I mean? Like, I go to cons. I work with these cons. So like, that is value. So think about like, what value do you bring to the team? Like, we're going to use the Avengers analogy again. Black Widow is not the strongest, but she's a great strategist. You know what I mean? She's really good at like sneaking in play. You know what I mean? She's good at gaining intel. So like, that's her value. No, she's not the strongest, but like, you see the Hulk coming. You don't always see Black Widow coming. So depending on the mission, she is more valuable than him. You know what I mean? So it's that thing. So, and just with business period, you cannot take stuff personal. You cannot take things personal. Everything is not personal. If you email somebody and they don't email you back, that doesn't mean they hate you. If you reach out to somebody and they say no, that doesn't mean they hate you. And even if they do hate you, go on with your day. Go on with your life. Like, don't let other people's views of you define you and make you act weird because you feel like somebody doesn't like you. One of the best books I've ever read is The 4 Agreements. This is one of those books I come back to and read every couple of months. As you can see, I am like halfway done on this reading. But I think I've read this before. There are 4 agreements that have helped me. And number 1 is be impeccable with your word. Number 3 is, that's 4 fingers. Number 3 is don't make assumptions. Number 4 is do your best. But number 2 is don't take anything personally. And I'm going to read this. Nothing others do is because of you. What others do and say is a projection of their own reality, their own dream. When you are immune to the opinions and actions of others, you won't be the victim of needless suffering. And I remember I was reading some stuff about this, like just different people's viewpoints. And they're like, that's sociopathic. And it's like, no, it's not. I do not have, just because you say something does not mean that I have to accept that as reality. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have to. And so just because somebody says, no, I don't want to work with you, that does not mean that my stuff sucks. It just means they don't want to work with me. It could be that their reasoning could be anything. You know what I mean? It could be they don't have the time right now, or like our brands don't match, or like, which is also a big thing. Like, when you're networking, try to find people whose brands match yours. Like, I have a lot of friends that I'm cool with in comedy, but I don't necessarily work with them because our brands don't match. You know what I mean? Like, perfect example is my homie Chinadu Ogu. Check him out as well. So Chinadu is very clean. I call him Young Sinbad. So he's very clean. He gets a lot of like super corporate sponsors. And if you follow me, you know, I'm kind of raunchy. Like, I've chilled a little bit, but I can be very raunchy. I'm raunchy. I curse a lot. Sometimes I get half naked on my page. So our brands directly clash. And so sometimes we'll find ways to work, but a lot of people don't know that's like one of my best friends, because we don't get to work as much just because our brands doesn't match. Does that mean I should change my brand, or he should? No, continue to do what you're doing. But there are other people that I can work with whose brands align more with mine than him, even though we're friends. So remember that too. Like, just because your brands don't match doesn't mean that you shouldn't create the connection. Doesn't mean you still shouldn't be friends with those people. It just means that you need to figure out how it works. I'll answer this one. Is it okay to ask why Sundays Paul stopped scheduling? I'm just gonna say it like that. Like sometimes when you're working with people, y'all schedules just don't match up, especially if you are maybe in a different time zone, or like y'all know I'm working on a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna give this advice for that. It's okay to stop doing stuff if it's not working. Even if you really like it, it's okay to stop doing it. I've stopped. I've had a lot. Like I'm looking at my dry erase board now. There's a lot of projects that I started and they just weren't working, or they were just too much work that I did not want to put in for the payback. That's also a thing. Like you need to assess, like, is this really worth it? Like, is the time and energy I'm putting into this worth what I'm getting back? And if it's not, then it's okay to stop doing it. And I feel like that's advice for anything. That's advice for like projects. That's advice for work. That's advice for people. Like if you're putting a lot of energy into a person and you don't feel like you're really getting anything back, why continue that relationship? You know what I mean? Like I am a firm believer. One of my favorite animes, we're going to keep doing anime analogies, is Full Metal Alchemist. And what's the first rule of alchemy? I'm going to go find it right now and read it because he says it at the beginning. And I want to say it exactly word for word. Okay. Because I don't like being wrong. Okay. So let me find it. I know it's to obtain. To obtain. Hold on. Here we go. Humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. That is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. In those days, we really believe that to be the world's one and only truth. But the main part is humankind cannot gain anything without first giving something in return. To obtain something of value, equal value, that's the most important part. Equal value must be lost. This is alchemy's first law of equivalent exchange. So with me, everything I try to do, there's take. And if in any situation I feel like giving more than that's being given, I'm gonna stop. Because that's how you build resentment. And I'm not necessarily saying that's what you start going on. That's necessarily what happened with Sundays. That's more so like legit. Our schedules just weren't matching up. But since I'm talking about it, make sure that you are, when you're networking and when you're building these relationships with people, with companies, make sure you're getting something make sure you're getting back what you're putting in, so you don't build that resentment, because once you start building resentment, that is how you burn bridges, and you don't want to burn bridges. If you can avoid burning a bridge, sometimes you gotta, fuck it, we not corporate sponsored no more right now, so I can actually curse. Fuck it, I'm cussing now. We in there. Sometimes you gotta scorch the earth. Okay, sometimes you gotta salt it, scorch it, burn it to the ground. If it is a toxic relationship, if you are feeling harmed, if you are feeling like you is messing up your mental, fuck it, burn it down. Watch the flames dance in the sky. Okay, but most of the time, that is not necessary with business relationships. I love giving examples because I feel like examples reinforce information. So most of y'all that have been following me know I used to work with a company called Supreme Robot Pictures, and I was the dean of the school. I was one of the deans of the school. It's called Alt Arts Academy. And last year, I'm gonna be real, just some transparency. I was depressed. I was really depressed last year. Like I didn't have a car. I was in a terrible apartment that I didn't want to be in. I didn't really have any money, and because I didn't have a car and I'm in Houston, it's very hard to get around without a car. And so like I was just depressed, and I ended up getting an opportunity to work with a company, the homie Victor Varnado. Shout out to Victor. And I was working, but I wasn't really working. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't giving it my all. I wasn't doing what needed to be done. And Victor gave me a lot of chances, but ultimately he had to fire me. I messed up some stuff. I had to get fired. And so, but because I try to be very self-aware, I knew I was gonna get fired before I got fired. Like I knew I was gonna get fired. But one of the things I said earlier, I didn't take it personally. I didn't feel like Victor hated me. I didn't feel like Victor didn't think I was talented. I just wasn't doing the job that needed to be done. So I got fired. And it was funny because when he was firing me, I was laughing because I already knew it was coming. And you could tell he felt bad. He was trying to like be as nice as he possibly could. But I just started laughing during the meeting when I got fired. But I didn't take it personally. And because I didn't take it personally, we still work together. I just don't work for his company, but like we still work together. We're still friends. We still talk. And we're still able to deal with one another because I did not take that personally. I looked at it analytically and was like, yeah, I should be fired. I'm not delivering. I need to be fired. And this is not a slight against you. You know what I mean? Like this isn't like, oh, Victor hates me. You know what I mean? It's no, you weren't delivering. And if you're not delivering, then you get fired. And that doesn't mean that me and Victor can't be cool. We, like I said, we still are cool. So like really start thinking about stuff like that. Like, is this action logical? And is how I'm moving logical? Am I making logical moves? A lot of times in business and just in situations, we will bring emotions into it and we'll bring our traumas into it and we will bring our perspective on things and we won't analyze the situation logically. So what I try to do is be like, yo, is this the most logical outcome? Am I acting as logical as possible? Is what I'm saying making sense? And is what I'm saying, am I conveying it to the best of my abilities to where like, even if you're not where I'm from, you can understand where I'm coming from. And I think that that's something that needs to be integrated more in business, especially like in the entertainment industry, because it's not. I feel like a lot of people are very emotional, which is fine. Like you can have your emotions, but you cannot project those emotions and those traumas onto everybody else. Like that's not fair and that's not right. And it just makes it harder for people to want to work with you because they really don't understand where you're coming from. And that's not to say your feelings aren't valid. Your feelings are always valid, but because your feelings are valid, that doesn't mean that they are. It's acceptable to project those emotions on other people. Am I like? Y'all get what I'm saying? Like, have your emotions, feel your emotions, but your emotions are your emotions. Okay, like you know what I mean? Like my emotions are my emotions. I've been in a lot of situations where I'd have been pissed off. Like somebody said something and they pissed me off, and y'all know, like legit, this is no cap. I have an anger problem. Like I've had an anger problem since I've been a child. Like the punching trees thing, like I be joking about it, but like yeah, I'm like because I don't want to harm people, I punch trees. Like you know what I mean? Like I used to have blackout anger. You know what I'm saying? Like that's why I meditate a lot. You know what I'm saying? That's why I laugh a lot. Sometimes I know y'all be watching my stuff. Sometimes like somebody will say something and I just start laughing because I don't want to. You know what I'm saying? So I say all that to say that just because I'm angry, that doesn't mean I get to put that anger on other people. Or just because I'm upset, that doesn't mean I get to put that anger on other people. That's not fair. Because it's also selfish to do that, to put your emotions, just dump your emotions on people in situations where they, you know, they're not ready for that, because you also don't know what emotions they're dealing with. You don't know what traumas they're dealing with. And so when you just come and blah, 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 and do all of that stuff, now you have transferred that to me. You have transferred that to me. Now I have to deal with your emotions in addition to mine in a situation where I was not prepared to do so. Is that making sense? Like if we're in a business meeting, I'm not thinking about your emotions. I'm thinking about this business. So when you come in and you blah, blah, and you're doing all of this, now I'm like, those are two separate parts of my brain. And now you're forcing me to do this when I'm trying to do this. And that's not fair. So like, think about that when you're dealing with people, especially in business settings, bro, keep your emotions to yourself and move logically. Move logically. Now there is situations where like your emotions are valid. So like a perfect example, if we are dealing with some stuff, right? And I say something that offends you and your feelings are hurt, say something. You definitely should say something, because that is going to affect how we conduct business in the future. Okay. Like if I like, that's a conversation we should have. But once again, that is a conversation that we should have logically. That is a, hey, you said this thing. And when you said this thing, this is when you break out the therapy sentence stems. You said this thing. And when you said this thing, it made me feel like this. And I feel like that is going to affect how we conduct business and how we interact with each other. So moving forward, I would like for us to deal with each other in this capacity, like set your work boundaries. But what you don't get to do is say, and oh, that is a very good point too. Let me add that. That is a private conversation. Like when people do stuff to you, you don't need to have a big public blowout. You don't need to make a post or anything. Hey, let me pull you aside real quick. Hey, can I call you later? Because when you put people on blast, or when you like say stuff in front of everybody, you're putting that person on the defense, because they don't want people to start viewing them differently. So when you're like, hey, you did something to me, fuck you, and it's 20 people around, now everybody's looking at this person like, yo, fuck that person. You know what I mean? When that wasn't any of their business. Don't bring other people into your stuff either. I guess this goes with emotions. Yo, you don't need to bring everybody into your stuff. That's your stuff. That's your stuff. Keep your stuff. Y'all talk. And then that also helps to foster trust between you two. You know what I mean? When you've come to them person to person, 101, people tend to let their guard down a little bit more. It's a better discussion. Now, if you're trying to talk to somebody and they're just not having it, yeah, go to a higher up. If you're in a more structured corporate setting, yeah, go to HR and let them know, hey, this person did this. I tried to discuss it with them. I felt like they just simply weren't caring. I'm bringing it to you because I don't want it to be an issue. Like, don't wait till stuff becomes an issue. Handle it. Like, if you say something, I pride myself on this. If you say something I don't like, I'm going to say something. I'm going to say something. Or if I find out that something is said that I don't feel like is accurate, I'm going to clear it up. And it's awkward. It's awkward. I am the queen of an awkward email. I am the queen of an awkward email. I will send you an awkward email. Like, hey, I heard this was said, just to clear it up. I don't have any issues, but this is how I feel like we should move forward. Okay? This is how we should move forward. This is what I think. Let me know what you think. Like, always leave the floor open for discussion, because that might not be how the other person views it. You want to try to get as cohesive as you can in situations like that. We got some comments. Yep, I felt, because when you're like, hey, you said that and you pissed me off. No. Hey, you said that and I felt this, because they maybe felt something different. That is a way to get people talking. That is a way to get people to understand what you're saying without you attacking that person. When you did blank, I felt blank. Moving forward, we can try blank. Thank you, Jessica. Y'all can screenshot that. That is a perfect way. And not just in business settings, in romantic settings, in friendship settings, even with your family. Like, family are the most habitual line steppers. Family will kick your fucking boundary in the face. You know what I mean? So, like, yes, use that. Hey, when you said that I wasn't funny in front of everybody, knowing that I am a comedian, I felt disrespected, and I felt like that could potentially affect how I get booked. Moving forward, keep that shit to yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that is how, I mean, do it better than that, but you know what I'm saying? We got, I'll come to your question in a second. I'm going to go through this because people are still on this topic. That I don't tell people what they did, instead state how the situation made you feel. Yep. Hey, I really felt uncomfortable. I really felt hurt. I really felt sad. I really felt embarrassed. I really felt angry. You know what I mean? Like, use your sentence. There's a whole thing about eye language too, to keep things from getting out of control. Yep. Put it on you. This is how I felt. This is how I felt. And this is also a good point, GQ, because how you may feel is not always or rarely that person's intention. Yeah. Like, most of the time, people aren't, unless they're just innately evil, unless they're just a chaotic evil, they don't want you to be mad. Nobody wants to be mad. Nobody wants to make people mad. Nobody really wants to be in uncomfortable situations. So yeah, you'll be like, hey, when you said that, I felt like this, or it really hurt my feelings. Most of the time the person is like, hey, I wasn't trying to hurt your feelings. I was trying to be funny, or I wasn't even thinking about it. I didn't even think how that would make you feel. And I apologize. Most of the time people will apologize, even if they felt like they didn't do anything wrong, because nobody really wants to hurt your feelings. So yes, we do have a question, and keep your questions coming. This podcast is usually 15 minutes, but we had a good old discussion going today. So I'll wrap it up in a little bit. Do you feel comfortable performing stand-up now that the world is opening back up? No, like it's not even just because of, like I know people not vaccinated. It's not even because of that all the way. That's part of it. But it's still just like getting in the groove of doing stand-up itself. So like remembering my set, remembering how it flows. Like stand-up is one of those skills, like if you don't do it for a while, it's weird getting back into it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you develop this rhythm, you know what I mean? And then you just stop. So like now, you know what I'm saying? Now it's all staccato because it's just, you're not in that rhythm. You don't remember. It's certain things that you put into your jokes to make them flow, certain connections. Like even like some of the jokes I was telling, I can't tell those jokes anymore. They're not relevant. You know what I mean? Or people just don't care. So like most of us have had to build brand new sets that we've been working on for years that just are no longer relevant because nobody cares. We were in the house for a year. You know what I mean? So like it's certain stuff that's not even a thing anymore. You know what I mean? So like having to rebuild, I've been on stand up for almost 8 years at this point, having to rebuild my set. You know what I mean? Like it's crazy. And then not only that, like I am a very extroverted introvert. Okay. Excuse me. If I can be in the house, I will be in the house. If I don't have to talk to people, I won't talk to people. When I do talk to people, I'm me. I'm lively. I'm, hey, what's up? But if we break down a day, right, into 24 hours, let's say how long people sleep? 8, so 16 hours. We'll do 16. So then 4 of those hours maybe is me interacting with people, and that's me working, me doing all of that. So what's 4 of 16? 1/4. So 3/4 of the day, I'm not talking to nobody. Like I don't want to talk. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to be on. I think most of us, I go to self-checkout because I don't feel like talking. I don't want to hear about your day. You don't want to hear about mine. Like I don't want to talk. I need to check my phone. Like I just check. I have like 300 unread text messages. I don't be want to answer the phone. I just be feeling drained. I feel empty. I don't want to talk. So like that is, but when you do stand up or when you're having to engage with people, like, cause it's not just stand up. It's people that came to see me. I have to talk. You know what I'm saying? Like I have to be around y'all. And I love being around people that came out to see me, but I don't want to do it all day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna kill it at the con. I'm gonna be tired when we're done, just because like I get drained from having to talk to people. Like it's a lot, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. And so it is exhausting sometimes, just because we have went a year without me having to talk to people, without me having to be out, without me having to look away, without me having to perform. And now I'm having to perform. You know what I mean? So, and this isn't no woe is me. This is just real. Like, I don't think people be realizing like that's exhausting. It's exhausting because like I'm having to everybody's different. And I read body language. I read people's energy. Like I want to make sure that when I'm interacting with people, it's as pleasant of an experience as possible. Because if you pay to see me, if you're coming to a show, that means you had to find out when the show was, right? So that means you're following me in some kind of way, which is already like, thank you, because you don't have to do that. Then that means you had to pay for a ticket. That means you worked whatever amount of hours and gave me a portion of the money that you earned. You know what I mean? Like that means something to me. Because you didn't have to do that shit. You could have spent that money on whatever. You know what I mean? Like, but you gave me some. You know what I mean? Like you paid, you felt like I was important enough to give me money. You know what I mean? I don't think everybody thinks about it like that, but that's what it is. And so you came, you drove, you spent gas money. Gas ain't cheap. So you drove to the show. If you got kids, that means you have to schedule somebody to watch your kids. You know what I mean? To come watch me talk. Because that's what stand-up is. Me talking. So come watch me talk because it makes you happy. So like, for you to do all of that shit, to come see me, and for me to not engage with you and not interact with you is not okay. You know what I mean? And so like, I want to make sure like, yo, you came out here, we cool now. Like I treat you like a friend. And so, but sometimes it's 100 friends. You know what I mean? So it's a lot. But I get paid to be funny. You know what I mean? So I try to be grateful. I get paid to be funny. So I'm not going to be like, yeah about it. Like, I've worked in warehouses. That's tiring work. I'm getting paid to be funny. So I'm not going to be an asshole about it. You know what I'm saying? So rant. You know how I get. Thank you, Wanda. Wanda's the homie, so she knows. Yeah, I try to be very attentive to people that, because, you know, that's also how I was raised. A lot of Mr. Rogers, a lot of that, like, be attentive to people. They came to see you. You know what I mean? I know everybody don't have that. Everybody can't do that. But like, yo, give people the attention that they deserve. Yeah, and that's the other thing. I am very good at not good at lying. That's not my thing. But I am good at mask wearing. I will be dead tired and I'm like, hey everybody, and then go pass out. So yeah, I'm working on that. All right. Any thoughts on the honor system where in some states, places, if you are vaccinated, you don't need to wear a mask, but no checks are verified? Man, that's why I'm gonna keep wearing a mask because people are lying, and I'm not about to get sick because you lying. And also just on a very, very basic, stupid level, I done spent too much money on these masks, man. Like I have a mountain of masks. Every time I wash clothes, it's a mountain of masks. I done paid too many monies on masks to not wear. I'm wearing these forever. Okay. And also, I don't like people looking at me. Stop looking at me. You need to look at me for. So I think everybody should still wear their mask, whether you're vaccinated or not, because why not? And there's still a lot of people that are susceptible to getting sick. People are saying COVID's over. It's not over. People are still getting COVID. So if you're not planning on getting vaccinated, which I understand everybody doesn't want to get vaccinated, that's cool. Like I didn't want to get vaccinated. But for most of the shows that I'm doing, and I'm about to be going out the country, I have to be vaccinated. So, and that's your belief. I don't care. Like, we don't need to discuss that here. I know everybody, like, some people are like, I don't want it. I don't care. Wear a mask. Like, that's the least you can do. If you don't want to be, I have not worn the Medea mask yet. If you don't want to vaccinate or you don't want to vaccinate, that's fine. That's your business. I don't have a belief either way on that. I don't care. But wear your mask. You know what I mean? Like, wear your mask. How is that hurting you? You've been wearing it for a year. Why do you want to stop wearing it so bad? Why do we need to look at your ugly ass? You know what I'm saying? Put the mask on. Because I feel like that's just selfish. It goes back to the problem we were having last year. If you people would not want to wash their hands and wipe stuff down, why? You know what I mean? So I still feel like everybody should wear a mask. I feel like that was stupid for them to be like, oh, you don't have to wear a mask. There's like a new strain of COVID. People are still getting it. Wear a mask, bro. Wear a mask. Dang. Yes. Yo, that's the point. Stop being selfish. Care about other people. There are people still dying from COVID. Yeah, stuff's open back up, but people still are getting sick. And people are still going to continue to get sick because people aren't going to vaccinate, which, once again, that's your business. If you're not going to vaccinate, put a mask on. Sorry, I didn't mean to rile you up. It's okay. I get riled up real easy. But yes, I don't have faith in people. People don't wash their hands. I'm going to the gym. People not wiping stuff down because it's not mandated. Nobody's checking anymore. Like, y'all are so filthy. Y'all are filthy. We should have been doing this even before COVID. You should be wiping stuff down. You know what I mean? Like, you should be making sure that, like, your nasty hands digging in your butthole and your nose, and then you touching the basket. Like, that should never have been a thing. We should have been doing it like this. So just the fact that people are just so ready to go back to being lazy, disgusting people. And here go the thing. You know who it is. I ain't saying no names. I ain't saying nothing. You know who's being dirty. Okay? And I'm just disgusted. Okay? Wear your mask, people. And I'll take one more question real quick, and then I am going to finish this, and then I got a meeting, and then I'm going to go to the gym. Y'all are great. I am glad that y'all continue to like this podcast. I'm trying to figure out, like, I'm going to have some more guests on here. It's just, like, once again, I'm still getting situated. I probably won't be bringing any guests until, like, August once I get to my space. Because I'm, like, I'm out in LA. Oh, somebody had asked a question about where I'm from in Houston. I am from the Mo. I'm trying to find the question. Here goes. Ooh, excuse me. I'm from the Mo. I'm from Mo City. Grew up in the Mo. I have lived in other parts of Houston. So, like, I just was living in, like, Cypress. I lived all on the north side. Lived off of, like, Willcrest. Like, I used to stay in Sunnyside for a little bit. Like, I've been all over Houston, but born and raised in the Mo. In the Mo. All right. That's where we're at. Also, thank you for this. I was on Squadcast, so check out Squadcast on the All Def main page. I was on there with Tahir, Jasmine, Dariani, or is it Dariani? Dariani. I keep saying Dar. It's Dariani. Dariani and Chinadu Ogu. So y'all check out that episode. It just dropped a couple hours ago, so check that out. Good to see you too, Wands. And then somebody asked about the 4th. I didn't really do nothing. I had an event. I'm sorry, I had an event and it was fun. I got way too lit. Way too lit. Oh Lord, what I just dropped? Was that my hard drive? Oh Lord, my hard drive. Hold on, y'all. Not my good hard drive. Hold up. Sweet Jesus. Okay. Sit you right there, baby. So yeah, does anybody have any other questions? I love y'all as well. If you have any other questions, I'll just do this one last question. Let me know. Let me make sure my hard drive. Is my baby okay? Is my baby okay? Sweet Jesus. Okay, I might have to fix that. All right. In fact, I'm going to go fix that before I have a panic attack. So thank you guys so much for watching Ante Meridiem with Roxxy. It's fine. I am Roxxy Haze. It just popped up. I am Roxxy Haze. Thank you for following me. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for your continual support. Make sure you check out my Patreon. Make sure you check me out on everything. I'm still going to deal with this hard drive real quick. Check me on everything. I love you guys very much. I will see you next AM. Bye. So I left and did not press end broadcast. So bye again.